Good afternoon, everyone. Paul Burkhardt here, broadcasting live from our podcasting studio in Troy, Michigan. Apologize ahead of time as we only have audio today and we're having some technical difficulties with our video. We hope to get that taken care of in the not too distant future. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend and everyone is making it through together as a family through this most difficult time. We're here with you. We're going to spend a few minutes talking today about some things that we think will be of great interest to you, and we'll go from there. So today I wanted to discuss some unsavory practices happening within our industry, okay? There are different parties out there, different companies, some that have been around for a while, some that are just getting started, and others in between. They are advertising that they are the senior movers. They are advertising through Google, through different websites. They are even telling folks on the phone that they are representatives of our company. And we're actually having phone calls come into our company asking for people that don't work here. So we personally are very aware of what's happening out there as our brand has taken hold with thousands of clients who we're so very grateful to be able to service. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that we are the senior movers. We don't have any partners. There are no third-party companies that work for us. We are owned by myself, Paul Burkhardt. I don't have any partners. So anyone out there who is misleading you in any way, saying they work for us or have worked for us and are now us, it's just not true, folks. Again, we're seeing a lot of this, and we haven't went public with it prior to this, but the time has come now because there's enough confusion happening out there, and we want to make sure we get our message out there and don't have you folks misinterpret others for us. The difference is, and what we call our differentiating factors, is pretty much about 30 to 35 differentiating items between ourselves and pretty much most everybody else. I would say probably 10% of the companies out there are very reputable. Okay, but we pretty much now are the preeminent provider in the senior relocation industry in the state of Michigan. Residential movers, and there are some other companies that go into senior communities, but they don't do it exclusively. This is our life. This is our passion. This is our everyday work. I mean, this is our family. Seniors are an extension of us, and we believe, an extension of them. The only one out there that we would say that are partners are actually the seniors and their families themselves. We view them, it is a partnership and in a kinship of helping somebody not move their things. We are relocating them into a different stage of their life. Very emotional time, very stressful and anxious time, and that takes a certain type of compassion, care, and patience, and a certain amount of precision performed by a group of individuals that are high-quality character people that work together as a team, that work together as a family so that we can actually execute the level of service that is not only desired, but is needed to be able to help the transition and the journey throughout the aging process. So a couple other items that are relative to this that we feel is important is some of the pricing structures that are out there. Again, there are misleading factors for a residential company in what they tell you at the point of estimate, typically on the phone. They give you what we call a lowball price, okay? So we'll use an example of $500. They'll tell you $500 to get you to accept and to leave a deposit. And then what ultimately happens is the majority of them are not familiar with the buildings. They are not familiar with the rules and policies, where to park. They have constantly different crews, massive turnover in these companies to where it's different crews that are showing up in the buildings, and the time just goes on and on and on. They don't understand the hallways, the elevators, the speed, how to lock them out, where to go, where not to go. They try to prop elevators. There are so many things that would really surprise you as to what happens out there. We not only know the buildings, we know all the people in the buildings. In most all of the communities, great numbers of those folks that are in there know us. They see us in the hallways. They invite us in, or they try to invite us in. Obviously, we're working, and maybe we'll stop by when we're completed if we have the time, but they want to make us cookies, and they want to introduce us to family members that might be there, or just come on over and sit with them for a moment, folks. And that's what we do. That is who we are, in one of just countless differences. It's not a number system. It's not next client up. It is the experience and the difference of that experience for that senior and for their family. And then in turn, it is for their neighbor. It is maybe for a sister or a brother or someone else they know, and we build it from there in that way. When these folks say that they offer the same things, they do not. Again, they tell you $500. The real cost is $850. If we tell you $850 at the beginning, we're transparent, honest, open, and upfront with you, telling you what it's going to be because we understand all the process. And then make no mistake about it, there are different procedures and practices by a lot of different companies, from how they store the items to make sure that they leave in the manner or arrive in the manner in which they left the previous residence, how they are wrapped, how they are carried, how they are brought into the room, how they are just left there and not located or staged in the manner in which you would like. And what we find many times is we may stage it, the senior or whoever the caregiver is or point person for that relocation will tell us an initial location, we'll put it there, and then maybe we'll go to bring other things into the room, and when we arrive back at the room, they'll ask us to move something 6 inches down or 12 inches down, and we'll do that. And then sometimes they ask to move it on a different wall. Or sometimes if there's 2 bedrooms, they want, we set up the 1 bedroom. By the time we start to bring the additional items up, they have a change of heart, and they want to move the 2nd bedroom to the 1st bedroom. Now, there are some instances where it can run into an extra hour or 2 hours, something like that, which we consider to be a changing of the scope of the service or scope of the work. At that point in time, we'll adjust the price, but we will do that up front transparently before we start to relocate the items, if it's something that's going to take that long. If it's just to move a dresser a little bit further down, if it's just to switch it and put it in the corner of the wall, that where both walls meet versus flat up against another wall, that's not going to change your price, folks. But we see it all the time, and it's very, very sad what we hear a lot of times when someone will call us. Perhaps they said no to our estimate and they went with somebody else, and they call us back for a different reason. Maybe we had somebody call us, I think, within the last 2 weeks, and the person that they had were in the middle of a relocation. Something took place. We don't know exactly what. And the senior actually dismissed them from the job and said they could no longer work with them. Called us because they had heard about us from somebody else. We estimated the job. She said, let's go ahead with it. And she was absolutely thrilled. Now, again, I don't know all the details. We don't know all the details. But we've been around long enough to understand most likely what happened during that time. It's just different than upsizing a 26-year-old couple who's just starting their life together and moving maybe out of their parents' home. They get married and they move into their first home. It's a completely different experience than a senior, whether that be a man or a woman, or it could be both. It could be spouses. Sometimes we have sisters, even brothers that live with one another that are both seniors. It's a next chapter in the life type time. It's 30, 40, 50 years in a residence with independence and then going into a senior community. Even if it is an independent living and not assisted or memory care, it's a different lifestyle. And with that comes different challenges. There's an emotional attachment to where they were prior to leaving. And can you imagine? I mean, I'm 47 years old, for full disclosure. I can imagine if I was 65 or 70 and I went into a building, which they're beautiful, folks. They are resort-like, and we'll share a lot of interesting information about the communities in another episode. But the point that I'm trying to make is you eat at any time that you want, in your own house. You want to go sit outside, or you want to go grab your car and you want to go and drive wherever it is you want to go at any time. And there is some of that in the senior communities. The more independent folks can certainly come and go as they please, but dinner is at a certain time, lunch is at a certain time. There's elevators to get to a floor. It's just altogether different. And so when it comes to actually transition from your residence, where you've built a family and built memories for decades, and then you're going into a new setting, a new environment, meeting all new people, all new neighbors, it's an emotional time. And so we are what we believe to be one small part of that transition, but an important part of that transition, because we take the time. We have the healthcare professionals. We have the experience to perform our services at a level that makes that be more of a seamless transition. And you might be able to hear this in my voice because I am very, very passionate about this. And our entire team is very, very passionate about this. We wear this on our sleeves, folks. When we see people just kind of slough through the items and want to get on to the next, and it's that number type item, like if you were at a market and you pull a number and the speed with which they have to go through that is not who we are, and it's not what we can do. Now, I would be misleading you folks if I said that we didn't have other services to get to after some of the services we're performing, but they are spaced out in such a way where I just simply won't allow it to be a practice in our firm to where we are overbooked, to where it's going to sacrifice our service level. It just won't happen. And if we are at a busier time, because there are some of those that are busier than others, spring, summer, fall, and there are other dynamics throughout the year that increase our volume of calls and volume of services, we'll take extra steps, as in put more specialists on the transition to help speed it up, where the performance is actually improving. It's not decreasing. It's not a rush type of thing. And yet there's the other balance of it where you got to go fast enough so that on that first day, the senior or seniors is getting settled in. They're able to enjoy dinner their first day or first night, and they're able to just settle quicker. Some of these folks just go on and on and on and on, and they have an hourly price, and they leave at 8, 9 o'clock at night just because they're letting the clock extend as much as they can because it is on an hourly pricing structure. We, for the most part, do not do hourly price structures. We offer flat rate pricing, not to exceed quotes. We base it on about 35 to 40 variables that come into play. Maybe 10 of those 35 or 40 are factored in by some of the many companies out there that have a truck and a couple of people in jeans and a few blankets, and they think that they could just rummage through your items, collect your check or credit card, and be on to the next. That is not us, not now, and honestly, not ever. So, to be clear, the Senior Movers is owned by myself, Paul Burkhardt. I personally do not have any partners. This is a company that all of our services are performed by one team under one roof. We don't contract or what they call facilitate or a senior move manager where you have one person doing the moving and one person doing the pack and unpack and one person doing estate and all sorts of other things. We just don't do that. We have a full menu of services, all a natural extension of one another, but they are all performed by the Senior Movers personnel. We do have a subsidiary firm or a sister company called the Senior Advisors. That is also 100% owned by myself. Both of the companies are operated out of our headquarters in Troy, Michigan. No one else owns the Senior Advisors. No one else offers the Senior Movers. So when you're looking online and you see a Google ad, or you're talking to somebody, or you get a different quote from somebody else, when they tell you they are Senior Movers or they are the Senior Movers, they are not. We are the name synonymous with seniors in need, the Senior Movers. When you're ready to relocate, let us know. With us, you are in the most trusted hands. That is fortunately been proven by thousands of clients, over 100 senior communities. We are the preferred relocation specialist for, and If you look on our website at theseniormovers.com, you will see literally well over 100 reviews. Uncensored reviews, I might add. A lot in writing and many by the client's voice themselves. We take what we do very, very seriously. And when you hire us, know that you are hiring an extension of your family that understands your needs prior to us ever stepping in the home, on the premises, even before we come out and do an in-home consultation. So I'll leave you with this, folks, 800-345-1006. You can reach us via email, info@theseniormovers.com. You can also visit us in our showroom by appointment if you would like. And when I say showroom, we have a 5,000 square foot office. 500 square feet is dedicated to you and your family if you'd like to come and ask questions, discuss your needs, and we'll help tailor a package that is designed to fit those needs. And you can bring your son or your daughter or your brother or your sister, your caregiver, whoever you'd like. Sometimes we even have our senior community partner representative come on in, and together as a collective group, we'll discuss your transition, because your future and your experience getting there is our number one priority. Again, 800-345-1006, or log on to theseniormovers.com. And one final note, folks, stay tuned over the next couple of weeks, maybe the next month, more exciting news coming from the Senior Movers. Have a great day, everybody.